เพื่อนๆสวัสดีนะครับเพื่อนๆพี่นะครับเรามาดูบอล FA ครับนะครับรอบก่อนรองชนะเลิศนะครับระหว่างแมนเชสเตอร์ซิตี้นะครับเปิดบ้านรอบต้อนรับการมาเยือนของนิวคาสเซิลนะครับเพื่อนๆครับเพื่อนๆเดี๋ยวเรามาดูกันแล้วก็ก่อนเริ่มนะครับเพื่อนๆก่อนเริ่มนะครับเราฝากขอบคุณสปอนเซอร์ก่อนนะครับเพื่อนๆสโมท็อปนะครับสโมท็อปนะครับมั่นใจ 100% นะครับเข้าร่วมลีกแฟนตาซีนะครับทักทายสโมท็อปนะครับ FPL นะครับหรือคลิกที่ลิงก์ที่ผมปักหมุดไว้นะครับกับกิจกรรมนะครับจัดทีมได้ทุกสัปดาห์นะครับจัดทีมแฟนตาซีพรีเมียร์ลีกครับได้ทุกสัปดาห์นะครับใครได้คะแนนเยอะสุดมีโอกาสลุ้นรางวัลมากกว่ารางวัลรวมนะครับกว่า 760,000 กว่ารางวัลเลยนะครับเพื่อนฝากขอบคุณสปอนเซอร์ด้วยนะครับขอบพระคุณสปอนเซอร์นะครับเรามาดูรายชื่อตัวจริงของทั้งสองทีมนะครับเพื่อนๆก็แมนซิตี้นะครับมาในแผน 4-2-3-1 นะครับประตูเป็นออเตกานะครับคู่เซนเตอร์เป็นลูเบนิอาร์นะครับกับอาคันจี้นะครับแบ็คขวาคายวอลเกอร์นะครับแบ็คซ้ายกัวดิโอแล้วก็คู่บิ๊กฟิลด์นะครับเป็นโควาซิตกับโรดี้แล้วก็ปีกซ้ายเป็นดูกูนะครับปีกขวาฟิลโฟเดนนะครับกลางลุกแมนนาโดซิวาแล้วก็หน้าเป้าเป็นเออร์ลิงมาฮาแลนด์ไปแล้วส่วนนิวคาสเซิลนะครับมาในแผน 3-4-2-1 นะครับประตูเป็นดูมัสก้านะครับแล้วก็กองหลัง3คนมีพอเป็นแชร์นะครับลาเซลแล้วก็วอตแมนนะครับคู่บิ๊กฟิลด์นะครับเป็นบูโน่กิมไลท์กับลองซาร์ฟนะครับแล้วก็วิงแบ็กทั้ง2คนนะครับเป็นแดนเบิร์นกับจาคอบเมอร์ฟี่ตัวลุกนะครับโจวิลล็อกแล้วก็แอนโทนีกอร์ดอนหน้าเป้าเป็นอีซักนะครับเพื่อนๆโอ้โหเพื่อนๆมาแล้วบอลทั้งสองคู่ยังไม่ได้แก้สกอร์เลยเพื่อนมาครับเพื่อนเชียร์ซิตี้กันซิตี้สู้คนดูไปไหนหมดอย่างเพื่อนทำไมทำนี้เพื่อนคนดูไปไหนหมดตายแล้วอย่างเงี้ยตายแล้วตายแล้ว
Spurs' North London rivals Arsenal. It was a very good goal that day by Pereira as well, one that caught out Aaron Ramsdale, and that was the goal that happened all the way back in end of August now when Fulham's 2-2 draw.
สวัสดีครับพี่แฟนแมนยูครับ
Fulham have made good progress since then. Dragusin on the ball now though for Spurs. That's a really poor ball though by the Romanian out to Johnson, and that will be a throw-in for Fulham.The last time Fulham beat Spurs at Craven Cottage in the Premier League was back in November 2008. It was in Harry Redknapp's very few first games in charge of Spurs, which kind of says how long ago it was as Muniz wins his side, a free kick just in behind the halfway line and fouled by Destiny Udogie, and the ball's played out to Willian, and Willian of course has a lot of history with Spurs himself. Willian with the outside of the boot into Iwobi goes to take it down. It's well cleared away though by Sarr, and Sarr then clears it away, only given away to Bassi. Good play by him, good play by Fulham all round. They've started quite well, Fulham again. They've already beaten Spurs at Craven Cottage this season in the League Cup all the way back in August.
FA ครับพรุ่งนี้แมนยู 4 ทุ่มใช่พี่พรุ่งนี้ไง 4 ทุ่มนะวันนี้เชียร์ซิตี้ไปก่อนพี่ให้ซิตี้ไปเจอแมนยูใช่เปล่าให้ซิตี้ไปรอเจอแมนยูกับลิเวอร์พูล
From the Brazilian, never really got his head up and got caught in two minds slightly there, Pereira. But he didn't go
เดอะบอยทำไมเดอะบอยมันเจ็บบ่อยจังวะพี่เพื่อนนี่มันเจ็บบ่อยแล้ววะโอ้เป็นผมเป็นไอ้นี่ผมก็น่าเครียดเหมือนกันนะเพื่อนเราเป็นกองเชียร์แมนซิตี้เราก็คงเซ็งเหมือนกันอะเดอะบอยฮะสงสัยว่ามันจะย้ายจริงๆวะอะไรประมาณนี้เพื่อนหรือว่าเขาจะไม่อยู่แล้วเดอะบอยจะไม่อยู่แล้วใช่ไหม เดอะบอยเจ็บไม่มีชื่อใช่ครับพี่เดอะบอยเจ็บก็ผมงงไงว่าทำไมเดอะบอยมันเจ็บบ่อยจังอะไรประมาณเนี้ย
Fulham are doing really well. Willian with the ball in this time, well headed away by Udogie, and then it's headed back by Robinson. That one's going to be cleared away. Well, I say cleared away. It's coming straight back at them at the moment as the ball is with Adrabayo, and he goes out to the right-hand side. Fulham again started the game very well at the moment, it's fair to say, but Marco Silva's team do have rights to be confident. They were beaten in their last game against Wolves, but other than that they've been on good form, landing 3 wins in their last 5 league games. 8 of their 10 league wins this season have come at home. Ball played over top, good one towards Muniz, and Dragason's caught out. Muniz goes to turn. Dragason does just about enough in the end, in fairness to him, to get there, and then Romero goes in, and that's a strong challenge goes in on him, and that will be a goal kick to Spurs, I believe. But it was a ball played over the top there by Paulinho. Muniz remained onside, and Dragason got himself into a spot of bother originally. In fairness to the
ใส่เสื้อแมนซิตี้เหรอครับใช่ก็เอาใจช่วยซิตี้ไงวันนี้ใส่เสื้อซิตี้เลยวันนี้ใช่พี่วันนี้เราเอาใจช่วยซิตี้
will take again 6.5 minutes in. Fulham 0, Tottenham Hotspur 0, but a bright start by Fulham as Willian heads one out of play. I mean, Kieran, to be fair, with Spurs losing Harry Kane in the summer, obviously losing their best striker, the best striker in years, maybe ever for Spurs, to get top 4 for a first season for Ange Postecoglou certainly would be a good achievement. I mean, Spurs have been helped, you can argue, by the fact that they've not had any European football this season, but to get top 4 in his first season after losing their undisputed, really, their best player would be a good achievement, and that's what we're hoping to do.
Yeah, it would be a good achievement, and it's one that they've kind of got to do, because when you get Champions League footballers, Tottenham do well to win their first corner of the game. Johnson plays it off Alex Iwobi, but when you're in the Champions League, it makes it like a little bit easier going into a summer transfer window, because players want to join teams in the Champions League, and ultimately Tottenham are quite an attractive outfit as it is at the moment under Postecoglou, in terms of all the players play with such freedom. They all speak highly of Postecoglou, so players will already want to join that kind of side. And now if you add Champions League football to that, they really can go and get out their preferred targets, but the corner is taken short.
เพื่อนมันต้องไม่มีเดอะบอยมันก็น่าจะเงียบป้างนานเพื่อนซิตี้อ่ะใช่ไหมล่ะอย่าลืมนะเพื่อนฝากขอบคุณสปอนเซอร์ด้วยนะครับสโมท็อปนะครับเพื่อนๆกับกิจกรรมมั่นใจ 100% นะครับเข้าร่วมลีกแฟนตาซีนะเผื่อใครเล่นลีกแฟนตาซีอยู่แล้วนะครับก็มาลุ้นไปได้คะแนนเยอะก็ไปลุ้นรางวัลกันได้นะครับเพียงแค่เข้าร่วมกลุ่มนะครับไปลุ้นลีกแฟนตาซีพรีเมียร์ลีกนะครับเพื่อนๆก็ฝากด้วยนะครับเพื่อนๆฝากสปอนเซอร์ด้วยนะมีของรางวัลแจกนะครับก็ของรางวัลรวมกว่า 760,000 เลยนะครับเพื่อนๆฝากด้วยหรือแล้วใครสนใจก็คลิกที่ลิงก์ได้นะครับเพื่อนๆฝากด้วยเผื่อใครได้เล่นลีกแฟนตาซีนะครับเข้าร่วมกลุ่มกันไปเยอะๆไปดูรายละเอียดนะครับในไลน์กลุ่มได้นะครับเพื่อนๆขอบพระคุณด้วย
was good play by Romero. It was going in a rare forward position, actually. The ball was played out by Romero rather sloppily. Gets caught by Robinson and maybe making a little bit of a meal of it there, the Argentine. But either way, we're decided a free kick.
Yeah, he does well there, Romero. He anticipates where that pass is going to go, and it's not a good pass to Robinson. He's been sold short by his teammate, and in the end, he sees Romero. He feels the presence of a Tottenham man almost breathing down his chest with that ball, so he had to stick his foot out, hoping to get some form of connection with it. But this is a good set-piece opportunity again from Tottenham. Just had a corner, now got a free kick to whip into the penalty area. They've got a couple of big centre-half up in the penalty area. Romero, of course, scored against Crystal Palace recently as well, so he's got an eye for goal at the moment, but this is going to be a decent opportunity for Tottenham if Porro can put it on the money.
Yes, it's into the middle, it's gone off quite far through and it nearly falls to Saar, then Madison then has it, and eventually the offside flag has gone up. It was a bit of a scramble in the Fulham penalty area there. Eventually they just about dealt with it, but a bit of danger there between a couple of Fulham players and Spurs players as well.
สวัสดีครับพี่คเนศ
Nearly fell to Saar then and eventually Fulham got away with it, but again Spurs are growing into the game. A handball appeal actually in there off a Fulham man as well, so I think the offside flag had already gone up. Of course it was Timothy Castagna, the man who his arm, it did strike, but the flag was already up by that point, so it wouldn't have mattered any as Pereira is challenged rather firmly by Christian Romero there. Romero's found himself scoring a right back position in this game so far actually, but Willian comes to receive the throw in. He finds Tosin Adrabaya. Good ball by him towards Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi, a man in fine form at the moment, tries to get away from Udogi, but Udogi says not today. That's brilliant defending by him, and Vicario then plays one forward. Madison, lovely layoff by him to Johnson. That one's going to be given away, and Fulham have done well to win it back. Ball played out to Iwobi on the right hand side. Alex Iwobi into the penalty area. Can he play one in? He can. Brilliant ball. Excellent block by Romero. Very good goalkeeping though by Vicario. And Fulham coming forward again. That's an opportunity for them. And Tottenham survive. And Fulham
จริงๆนิวคาสเซิลจะสู้ได้วะเพื่อนก็มาช้ากิมาไลเจ็บใช่พี่เอ้ยกิมาไลลงอยู่นะพี่ไม่ได้เจ็บนะอ๋อเจ็บไว้เจ็บใช่สวัสดีครับใช่พี่พรุ่งนี้เชลซีเจอ
Brilliant ball. It looks like it's going to be a tap-in for Muñiz. Great hand by Vicario. And then equally brilliant defending by Romero to deny Pereira. Fulham then work it wide again, and they get in behind Spurs far too easily. The shot eventually comes in by Muñiz. In the end, it's a rather comfortable save for Vicario.
จิ้งจอกสยิวเดี๋ยวรู้จักจิ้งจอกสยิวอ่ะพี่เดี๋ยวรู้จักเลยอ่ะเดี๋ยวเชลซีรู้จักเดี๋ยวรู้จักชายรู้จัก
But Christian Romero has absolutely brilliantly. He's been a wall at the back so far. The corner's been whipped in, headed away by Dragusin, and it falls to Willian. But Christian Romero has started this game brilliantly so far.
Yeah, he absolutely has. The Argentine has been everywhere, really, hasn't he? As a nudge by Kulusevski on Pereira, and Fulham aren't going to get that decision. There wasn't much of a nudge at all, really, and Pereira went down, and Kulusevski deemed to have done nothing wrong. It's a bit of a nudge maybe, but I think he's made the most of it, hasn't he, the Brazilian there. And Spurs get the goal kick, and Lukic finding himself in rather unfamiliar territory there, didn't he, Lukic, in the end? And the shot came in. It wasn't a bad effort, but Vicario had to be alert. What a sign.
ได้ข่าวว่าจับฉลากเจอของดี สวัสดีครับพี่เอสดีใช่โอ้โหอยากล้างแค้นมานานแล้วพี่โธ่มันรอวันนี้มานานแล้วไบเยิร์นเนี่ยรอวันนี้มานานแล้วไงพี่วันนั้นใครแซวผมสำลีดำวันนี้สำลีไม่ดำแล้วนะเปลี่ยนใหม่แล้วเนี่ยเพราะประเทศไทยเลสเตอร์ซิตี้พรุ่งนี้ใช่พี่วันนั้นใครแซวผมว่าสำลวดดำอ่ะนี่ไม่ดำแล้วนะเปลี่ยนใหม่แล้วนะแมนซิตี้ก็เจอกันไวโพดเนี่ยแหละให้มันหลดกันไปทีมหนึ่งแต่มันอยู่เราไอแมนซิตี้กับมาดริดแล้วก็อาร์เซนอลกับไบเยิร์นเขาอยู่ฝั่งเดียวกันไงถ้าใครชนะก็ต้องไปเจอกันอยู่แล้วคู่นี้ใช่ไหมล่ะถ้าสมมุติอาร์เซนอลชนะอาร์เซนอลก็ต้องไปเจอคู่ชนะระหว่างแมนซิตี้กับมาดริดใช่ไหมแต่ถ้าไบเยิร์นชนะไบเยิร์นก็ต้องไปเจอแมนซิตี้กับมาดริดว่าดูว่าเพราะเสือฝั่งเดียวกันไงพี่เพื่อน
could have been away there down the right hand side as there's going to be a foul on João Palhinha. The referee plays advantage against Kulusevski, but this has been a frantic start to this game as Tottenham are now on the attack themselves.
They are. It's Madison found by Johnson. That's not a great ball by Madison standard though. Robinson gives him a brilliant flick by Muñiz out to Iwobi. That is fantastic.
1-0แมนซิตี้นำแล้วนี่ว่าใครยิงวะ
That man again, Romero has been fantastic so far. Well, he clears it, but it's a poor clearance actually by Romero. Straight to Muñiz again. It then falls to Lukic. Lukic goes back to Palhinha. And Palhinha now finds.
ดูครับเพื่อนๆเบนาโดยิงโอ้โหเยี่ยมมันลูกฉลับอ่ะพี่UCL อาร์เซนอลเจอไบเยิร์นใช่พี่แฟนเชลซีโอ้โหโชคร้ายจัดเอาแล้วเพื่อนมันยากผมพูดตามตรงเลยว่านิวคาสเซิลสู้ยากไม่เป็นไรเว้ยซิตี้ชนะ PSG เลี้ยงกาแฟอยู่แล้วไม่ต้องห่วงนี่ PSG ชอบเลี้ยงกาแฟครับซิตี้ชนะโอ้เบนาโดยิงนะเพื่อนไม่เป็นไรหรอกซิตี้ชนะผมก็อิ่มตลอดอะอิ่มกาแฟตลอดอะเอาเงินไปซื้อกาแฟไอ้นี่กินเลยอะอเมซอนกินเลยอะนี่เวลาพี่ให้มานี่ผมเอาไปซื้อก็กาแฟอเมซอนกินทุกเช้าเลยเนี่ยเพียรดีขอบคุณหลายๆเลยนะเลี้ยงกาแฟผมบ่อยๆอะ
Yeah, Spurs have really struggled to almost grow into this game. You can see them on the ball now. They're almost just trying to take a moment, take the sting out of the intensity of Fulham's game.
เรียบร้อยครับเพื่อนๆ 1-0
frantic non-stop from the home side. So Tottenham just
เจอได้หมดทำไม่สนลูกใครนั่นน่ะพี่ เจอได้หมดอยู่แล้วไม่กลัวหรอกโอ้บาเยิร์นก็บาเยิร์นเหนอเพื่อนเดี๋ยวมาเพื่อนผมไปเอาถ่านกันเปลี่ยนถ่าน
which allows Fulham to have the ball. They tried to get in behind. Muniz has gone down. I do think Muniz would have been offside, which may be why this has been almost looked over, because Dragusin did look like he dragged the Brazilian forward down. But here comes Son once again with a little bit of a risky pass there to Kulusevski, but Robinson just couldn't get his foot in there. And Tottenham, as I mentioned moments ago, they're just trying to ease their way into this game because they know they will get chances.
Yeah, they absolutely will. There's no doubt about that. I mean, the quality of Spurs, you're always going to get opportunities, and our cameras, on visual off-shoot studio commentary cameras, pan to Dragusin, who I think may have got away with one ever so slightly. I don't think he would have been offside, actually, Muniz, but I mean, there maybe wasn't quite enough contact there to be deemed a foul, and you only imagine if it was given as a foul, there'd have been a big punishment for Dragusin. The Romanian, of course, joined in January from Genoa in the Italian league, and what a signing. He's been a good signing so far, of course. He's played a few games, had a very good performance after coming on at Villa Park last week in Spurs' huge 4-0 victory in the West Midlands. As he's on the ball now, Dragusin, he goes out to Brennan Johnson.
ดูทรงแล้วไม่ต่ำกว่า 2-3 ลูกกว่าเดี๋ยวพี่เพื่อนโอ้โหเยอะฮาแลนด์เกือบแล้วเพื่อนโอ้โหนิวคาสเซิลผู้เล่นบาดเจ็บจริงๆใช่เจ็บเยอะพี่นิวคาสเซิลน่ะตัวเจ็บเยอะเกินนะครับเพื่อนๆใครที่เพิ่งเข้ามานะครับฝากสปอนเซอร์ด้วยนะครับสโมเบตนะครับเพื่อนๆสโมไม่ใช่สโมเบตสโมท็อปนะครับมั่นใจ 100% นะครับกับกิจกรรมเข้าร่วมลีกแฟนตาซีนะเพื่อนเข้าร่วมลีกแฟนตาซีเลยเป็นไรวะ
From the free kick on the left-hand side, Johnson tries to bring it forward. He eventually has some space to run inside. Finds Udogi in a good position. Destiny Udogi goes across one in. That's well blocked though, and Fulham can't clear their lines as Paulinho goes to clear up Lasagna. Sorry, that one's blocked by Johnson. Out for a throw-in. Well, I guess if you're Ange Postecoglou so far though, Kieran, nearly 20 minutes in, I don't necessarily think he'll be too thrilled with the way his side have played. Yes, it's still 0-0 on the scoreline, but Fulham have been better, especially going forward. And I think Spurs can count their lucky stars in a way so far, but it's still 0-0.
Yeah, they've not been good so far, but we know that this Spurs side can turn it on when they need to. They had a difficult first half against Aston Villa as well, and you just needed to see the second half performance to know that this is a side capable of changing gears when needed, as Bissouma almost tugging back on the shirt of Alex Iwobi there. Probably a little bit fortunate not to give away a foul there, the midfield, but it has been a difficult start to this game for Tottenham. Fulham, have made this very compact. They've almost pressed Tottenham into mistakes. Papisau with a couple misplaced passes, which is unlike him, and Fulham, they've just been dangerous on the attack. They've been quick in terms of the play. As I said, you're taking a little bit too much time there, almost getting caught in a very dangerous area. But Fulham being a bit too overconfident now as the big call out.
They have Kulusevski in a good position. He takes the ball, and in the end, it's very good recovering by Robinson, and Bassi and Robinson between them managed to get the ball off Dejan Kulusevski. But as Kieran mentioned, Paulinho was nearly caught out on the ball. Moments later, Robinson was. Kulusevski picked his pocket, tried to run through. In the end, though, the Swede never really quite got hold of the ball, did he? And Fulham between them did well defensively to get out of the situation. But Fulham have got to be a bit careful, because the last team you really want to play like that against really is Spurs. We saw a game earlier this season, both was actually Kieran, the North London derby, when Spurs equalised against Arsenal with a goal where James Maddison picked the pocket of Jorginho. And Spurs do have a habit of winning the ball high up the field under Postecoglou with the way he plays. So got to be so careful when you are playing out from the back as Romero finds Jung-Min Song. Great challenge though by Paulinho. Sarr has it now. On the right side is Pedro Porro, in towards Kulusevski. That's good defending though by Lukic on that occasion. And Tottenham have it back again though. Bissouma plays it forward. Sarr into Kulusevski, and Kulusevski trying to get there. In the end, he's just muscled off it by Robinson. It's good play by him in the end, the Fulham left back, because that was an opportunity for Kulusevski. Maybe argue that I think Son gets in his way ever so slightly, but in the end, Fulham just about deal with it. But Tottenham starting to have a couple of moments going forward.
Yeah, that was better from Tottenham. I think Kulusevski's first touch just showed a little bit too much to Robinson, who always back himself for pace. He's much quicker than Kulusevski, so he was allowed to recover that touch, and he was good defending in the end. Just moved his body across the Swede, and Kulusevski couldn't keep his balance, but it was good defending in the end. That's a foot in from Udogi. He tried to rush that clearance, and Johnson then almost just smashes it away. And it has been scrappy like this so far for Tottenham in terms of Udogi did really well to win that ball back. but then instantly
ดู
just
ทรง
tried
แล้ว
to
น่า
rush
จะ
the
เล่น
pass
เพื่อน
into
นิ
the
วคาสเซิล
middle
เรา
of the park. He deflected back to him, and you just think if he drove with that a little bit, they'd have had maybe a bit more space to hurt this Fulham side, but it's looking a bit rushed so far.
It absolutely is, as Pereira's finds the ball in a good position. Look at the space he's got in the middle of the park. Pereira as well. Acres of room. He goes out wide to Willian, and Willian on the left-hand side comes forward again at the Spurs defence. Willian in a good position, cuts it back.
เห็นกรรมการคนนี้แล้วหงุดหงิด
goes on, and then
ทำไมอ่ะพี่หน้าหงุดหงิดเหรอ
Pereira, sorry, Paulinho, I should say. And the ball then is back with Robinson goes out wide to Willian on the left-hand side again. Willian chips one through to Lukic. Good control.
แต่กรรมการคนนี้แม่งไอ้ที่มันทำผิดแล้วมันเหวอไงพี่ไอ้คนนี้ไง
Madison picks up the ball deep inside his own off. He finds Destiny.
ไอ้ที่มันทำผิดแล้วมันเหวอ
21 minutes in, Fulham 0, Spurs 0. Man City lead Newcastle United 1-0 in the FA Cup goal by Bernardo Silva in that one. As Man City, the FA Cup holders, of course, after their treble win last season, leading against Newcastle United, who are still after their first domestic trophy for nearly 70 years. And the wait might go on if they will. Well, the wait will go on if they lose at the Etihad Stadium this evening. As Saw on the ball now for Spurs. And back to what I was saying earlier, though, Kieran, about Fulham, had a reputation of being a bit of a yo-yo club, didn't they, in the last 10 years or so? But since coming up under Marco Silva, after emphatically winning the Championship in 2022, they've really settled as a Premier League club. A very good season last season, but to continue it this season has been even more.
ใจเย็น
Yeah, they're looking good. It's difficult to judge Fulham at times because they do show a lot of inconsistency in the Premier League. They can look brilliant one week and poor the other, and in a game like this, Fulham have looked very good for the opening 15 minutes, but it wouldn't surprise me if they also have a poor 15 minutes in this game, because that's just how Fulham almost roll a little bit. So I'm sure Silva will start to want a little bit more consistency. That comes with signing better players as it goes along, of course, and players almost trusting the judgment of it. As there's another foul given away by Kulusevski there, but 22 minutes into this game, Fulham have certainly been the better side, but we can see Tottenham are starting to grow into this one.
Yeah, they are. The one thing with Tottenham, though, is they haven't really made the most of the ball when they've had it in forward positions, and that was the light.
ซาอู่ทองลอกเฉยทำไมอ่ะพี่
Made the most of it in the forward
ทำไมมันทองลอกอ่ะ
We've seen a lot of Spurs' big attacking players. Great ball turn around the corner by Muniz. An opportunity now for Lukic in a good position. Lukic back into Muniz. Wrong ball, though, in the end. Great defending by Pedro Porro, tucked in from his right back position, and then Romero finds Son. Son can now maybe bring it forward. He goes to the left-hand side to Johnson. Johnson now, poor touch though by Johnson, inviting Castagne to come out and make the challenge, and that's exactly what the Belgian full-back did. But Fulham, a good break forward by them. Muniz has particularly been very good at the start of this game, hasn't he? Very sharp, a lot of good touches, and I think that with great respect to Raul Jimenez, he's offering something a little bit different up there, isn't he, Muniz?
Yeah, he's been a physical presence, and you've got to be that when you're up against the likes of Christian Romero. I think Romero's been brilliant so far, but Muniz, he's causing problems. There's a terrible pass from Sa, which allows Fulham to get on the break again.
Does Robinson, has it now, good position by him, goes all the way to the penalty area, and he goes beyond Saw. Robinson plays it in, Muniz surely somehow not put the ball into the back
ซา
of the
อู่
net.
ทองลอกมันเป็นอะไรวะพี่นิวคาสเซิลซื้อมาบางตัวเจ็บโดนแบนฮะโดนทั้งแบนทั้งเจ็บพี่นิวคาสเซิลก็ปัญหาเยอะเหมือนกันพี่นิวคาสเซิลอ่ะปัญหาเยอะเกินนิวคาสเซิลอ่ะบางทีอ่ะ
In a good position, Madison back to Son, and Son puts it over the bar. Best chance of the game by a country mile for Spurs so far. And Heung-min Son, of all people, the South Korean, has fluffed his lines. It was that combination earlier on in the season, Madison and Son, which took Fulham apart, and it was nearly the case in West London at Craven Cottage. Madison plays it back to Son. It's a really good opportunity, and he can't keep his effort down, the South Korean. Somehow at one end, Fulham don't take the lead, and then Spurs at the other fail to take the lead.
Well, you say it's the best chance of the game so far, but I think it is difficult technique, and I actually think this Muniz chance is the best chance of the game so far, because Robinson cuts it back, and instead of just putting his foot through the ball, Muniz is trying to do a little fancy flick to get it round. We famously saw Jamie Vardy score one of them in the season. Leicester won the Premier League, but Muniz, if he just gets normal contact with the side of his inside of his foot there, he taps it into an empty net. I'm not sure why he's gone with that.
แบบที่ฮาแลนด์ยิงอ่ะผมจะโดเนทกาแฟให้นะอาจารย์
Iwobi back to Willian with an effort straight at the goalkeeper though. Never quite got the power on that Willian, straight at Vicario. And with that being said, we've hit the 25-minute mark of the game. I can finally catch a breath slightly and hand over to Kieran Graham to take us through to half-time.
Yeah, thank you very much, Sam. It has been a bit of a frantic opening 25 minutes to this half because because Fulham, every time they go on the attack, they look like creating a big opportunity. That's a poor pass from Son as Calvin Bassey gives it back to his goalkeeper who hoofs his lines, but it has just been one of them games so far, but almost the tale of Fulham at the moment in terms of they're creating the chances. They've got great home record this season, but they're not taking the chances, and they've had some good ones at that. Son's had the best chance for Tottenham moments ago. It falls to Pereira, who's going to go for goal from distance, and it's a terrible effort in the end that goes well wide of the post, but Fulham have had plenty of efforts so far in this game, more than 5 I believe it's about 5, 6, maybe even 7 shots so far.
นัดเนี้ย
Silva at the moment, and he'll be pleased with
พี่ชนะอยู่แล้วพี่โถผมจะเอาอะไรมาสู้ผมพูดตรงๆเลย
but in terms of in front of goal, he'll have been wanting a little bit more because they've done more than enough to be in the lead in this game so far, but they need to keep putting Tottenham under a bit of pressure as the away side are just trying to play out from the back now. Kulusevski being dragged by Anthony Robinson. It's been a good battle between these two so far. He does well, does the Swede in the end to turn his man. Robinson recovers it with Bassey stepping across. He tries to give it back to the fullback, but it goes out for a Tottenham throw-in, and Tottenham really just need to put their foot on the ball here and almost show why they're in the position they are ahead of Fulham, because at the moment you wouldn't think Tottenham are the side battling for top 4 because Fulham have just been brilliant so far. Well, I mentioned earlier I covered the Tottenham Aston Villa game, and Tottenham were pretty poor in that first half as well, so it may just take them a few moments to almost wake up in this one, but the advantage is played. It falls to Maddison, squares it for Johnson, who goes first time, and it's a really poor effort from the Welshman in the end. Maddison does really well. There's a foul on Son. Advantage was given. Sarr did well to find Maddison, who gave it to Johnson. You think he could have just taken a touch, opened his body up and looked to bend it into the far corner, but he's rushed his effort, and in the end it's an easy save for Burnley.
Yeah, poor effort in the end, wasn't it? A good play by Spurs though. Again, they are starting to click going forward, and James Maddison, unsurprisingly, has been pulling the strings up there for them as well. It falls to him in a good position. He picks out Johnson in a really good area, but I think Johnson just lacks composure there, as you rightly say, Kieran. He almost shoots first time. Maybe he should go first time, but open up your body a little bit. It's almost like the equivalent of a pass ready to Leno, isn't it? A really poor effort, but Spurs win it back again.
Oh, and it's going to be a corner, and Papi Sarr with the pressure, and Fulham almost playing into their own downfall at the moment with how good they've started this game. You think just clear your lines, don't take risks. Leno takes too long, gives it into Polinia. Papi Sarr absolutely brilliant, covers the distance, and in the end it's going to be a corner for Tottenham, one out of absolutely nothing. And if Fulham do concede from this one, I mean, Marco Silva will be absolutely livid. 28 minutes on the clock, he's still 0-0 somehow as Maddison, he's stood over the corner, he whips it into the centre of the penalty area, headed away by
เพื่อนคนดูไปไหนหมดวะ
on the right hand side. Can he pick the forward pass? He can't. He goes back to the furthest outfield player back for Tottenham. Udogie gives it back out to the right hand side. Porro picks a nice pass. Maddison a little bit fortunate there with the initial pass, bounce off his other standing foot as it's played in behind, and it's Dragusin with a great chance, and he drags it completely wide. And how has he messed it up by that much? It's a real centre-halves finish. It's probably more of a better cross into the penalty area. Johnson was down in that whole time, but Dragusin had time to take a touch and has completely lashed at it.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's Spurs having all the opportunities, isn't it? Bassey, good clearance away originally. I think Bassey captures Johnson, and the ball comes back in. Fulham completely switch off. It finds Dragusin. It's not an easy finish by any means for Dragusin. I'm not sure if it's a cross or a shot really, but he puts it into a rather dangerous position across that 6-yard box, but it never really felt like a Spurs player was ever going to get on the end of it. But Dragusin, of course, first Premier League start for Tottenham in this game, almost felt like fate. He was going to give them the lead, of course, and it's a ball that comes through to him. Fulham switch off, as I say, and he has an opportunity, and I think in the end it's more of a cross than a shot, but either way it was very ineffective and it goes wide. And
ร้องเพลงลุงเริงร้องเพลงลุงเริงให้ฟังหน่อยใครวะพี่ลุงเริงอ่ะพี่
Willian just on the ball at
ผมกำลังโมนี่อยู่พี่แป๊บนึงพี่ ไปไปด้วยโมไปด้วยผมอะโปรแสบอะ
Right this second, Marco Silva won't be too happy. They'll be wanting his side to get well back on top. It won't be looks out wide, and that could be a fantastic pass. Porro's in a race with Pereira. Porro does brilliantly to play it off the Brazilian and out for a goal kick, and you can see him celebrate that almost like it's a goal in one moment, because that is big moments like that almost change the tide of a game. It allows players to gain confidence, and Porro's been heavily involved down that right side so far, defensive and offensively at the moment. Vicario just picks up the ball and rolls it to Dragusin and allows the Romanian to take the goal kick. He gives it to Vicario. There's a lot of
แอป
pressure
ไม่รู้จักเน็ตไอดอลเลยไม่รู้เลยพี่ผมที่โขพี่วันๆผมจะดูแต่อะไรผมไม่ได้ดูอะไรเลยพี่ดูข่าวบอลหน่อยนึงแล้วก็กลับบ้านมาก็ไลฟ์
They're really edging this game at the moment now at Tottenham in terms of they've grown into it over the past 5 minutes. They're creating chances, they're forcing mistakes, which is exactly what Fulham were doing to Tottenham at the start of the game. But here's Porro now under pressure from Willian, but finds that forward. It's a nice, clever idea from Kulusevski, but unfortunately for him, it skids off the surface too much and gives possession back to Calvin Bassey, and Iwobi can give it out to Castagna now. Good pressure from Johnson, who's been in the thick of it, and it's Udogie who absolutely flies round Castagna, and there's a chance now for Tottenham. Udogie pulls it back, looking for Son, and it's Maddison who goes for goal, and it's hit the bottle right at the side of Leno's goal. I thought Maddison may have taken that off Son there. Son may have been the better option, but Udogie does brilliantly, nips the ball off, runs down the left-hand side, cuts it back for James Maddison, who cuts it across goal. Leno was absolutely stranded, he had no chance, and in the end it looked like it may have nestled into that bottom corner, but it's because it bounced off, it had the backspin off the bottle of burned Leno there, and it was confusing to see where that ball ended up.
It was, absolutely, Kieran. I thought that was a goal for a moment due to the fact the bottle was placed just behind the goal line, and of course the ball hits the bottle and spins back in pretty much, and I thought, oh, has that hit the back of the net and come back out? But it actually does go wide. But James Maddison, he'll be slightly disappointed there. You see exactly what he's trying to do, Madison. It's the right idea. He's trying to put the ball into the bottom corner, leaving Leno standing, and that's exactly what happens. Leno doesn't move because the ball's so low, he can't dive for it.
ผมไม่รู้เลยพี่
But in the end, it just goes wide, and I think James Maddison, for a player of his quality, will be slightly disappointed there as Spurs win a free kick. But again, after what was such a good start to the game by Fulham, it's Spurs who are having all the big opportunities now, but the finishing just hasn't been there so far. We've played 32 and a half.
แต่วันนี้ดูซิตี้กันเนี่ยพี่
But there's certainly been plenty of opportunities for both teams.
ตอนนี้มันเป็นอะไรเนี่ยทำไมมันเป็นอย่างนี้เนี่ย
A little bit in this game. Pedro Porro now on the right hand side, playing that inverted fullback role we know he loves to do. Gives it to Dragusin. What can he
เรียบร้อย 2-0 โอ้โหเบนาโดอีกแล้วเหรอ
Straight back out there as
โอ้เบนาโด2 ลูกเลยครับเพื่อนคนเดียวโอ้โหนาทีที่11แล้วก็31สลับอีกแล้วเพื่อนโอ้โหมุมเดิมเปี้ยเพื่อน
Terrible first touch from Johnson. He only just keeps the ball in play, and he's going to drive at Castagna, cuts inside, gives it to Son, a lovely flick onto Maddison, who should have gone for goal. In the end, he cuts back, falls to Kulusevski, keeps it alive. Sal looks in behind, and it's well defended, and it falls back to the Senegalese midfielder, who's going to try and keep this attack alive, and he just almost remanufactures possession back to Romero, plays into the middle of the pack to Yves Bissouma, now to Kulusevski, and this is a good spell from Tottenham. They're asking questions of Fulham. A good ball into Kulusevski again in the penalty area. Darts past one challenge, and in the end, Robinson recovers it well again. Robinson's having a good defensive performance so far. Romero does well to use his body against Muniz to regain possession for Tottenham, and this is a really good spell for Postecoglou's side. The Son picks up on the left, cuts onto his right foot. He's still going. I wondered if he would have gone for goal there. Maddison
สูงแรกยิ้มหวานนะครับกันเต็มในกลุ่ม นั่นเลยพี่เขาว่ามีคนมีแต่คนเล่นสูงนั้นนะพี่คู่เนี้ย
A good spell of possession for Tottenham.
มีแต่คนเล่นสูงหมดเลยคู่เนี้ยพี่
Forcing mistakes, they just need to start creating more opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to credit Tottenham.
มันเป็นที่อะไรเนี่ย
Really struggling, Tottenham, didn't they? I feel like looking at the stats on our unofficial off-tube studio commentary screen there, the last 10 minutes of the game, 2 shots of Fulham, 4 for Spurs, 1 shot on target each, and I think Fulham started the game really, really well. Obviously, they're back there for the home team. Obviously, they've got the crowd behind them, and Spurs never really coped in the first 20 minutes or so, and they were struggling. But since then, Spurs have really got back into the game, and credit to them because obviously, and Johnson with a poor touch there puts it out of play. But I feel like Spurs, you feel like with the quality they've got in forward areas, if it does become a game where it's kind of you shoot, we shoot, that would benefit Spurs because they've got the likes of Heung-min Son and James Maddison. But at the same time, though, you can't write off this Fulham team because they also have some very good players. But one of Fulham's biggest problems this season has ultimately been scoring goals. And I think we've kind of seen that in the 20 minutes of this game. And now Spurs are growing into it. But somehow neither team have been able to break the deadlock.
Yeah, I mean, I personally can't believe that this game is still 0-0 because we've had chances for both sides. Maddison and Son with big chances for Tottenham. Muniz with a couple big chances as well as Andreas Pereira. The referee's given advantage from a challenge from Lukic on Maddison, who wasn't a fan of that one from the circuit. He instantly turned around and gave him some verbals back, but the player does continue as Tottenham are still on the ball. Son lays it off for Yves Bissouma right on the halfway line, gives it back to Son, who picks up a good bit of space. Porro's been caught on the ball, but luckily it bounces back to his teammate Papisar, who's been heavily involved in this past 5 minutes. And Maddison looks to shimmy around Lukic. It's a good tackle in the end from the Serbian, and then Maddison with a foul straight back on Lukic. The referee plays advantage as Willian plays it out wide to Iwobi, and that's a good ball and a good first touch. Iwobi puts it in the area, looks for Pereira at the back post. It's a bit overhit, but the Brazilian will keep it in play to keep the attack alive. He flashed it back into the area, and Dragusin does well to head away as Lukic just about got there first, but in the end clears it out for a throw-in. And I think the referee is just calling for a word between Lukic and Maddison because they've twice gone in on each other now. So the referee, there's no free kick at the moment, but it's clever refereeing from Robert Jones. I like the referee because he's just taking that moment. He can sense something brewing up between these two players, and he's just having that word to calm things down.
Yeah, I thought Maddison was lucky to escape a yellow card there, to be honest, but then again, you look at that as well, there's a little bit of afters because originally Lukic pushes Maddison, so a little bit of a retaliation by the England number 10 there, Maddison, and both players going for it. And it's good refereeing, as you rightly say, because he's diffusing the situation. He knows, obviously, that both players get a little bit heated in there. He doesn't want anything to blow up, of course, so good refereeing in the end, but a little bit of frustration by both players. Really, Lukic, of course, originally going in on Maddison, and then obviously Maddison giving him one back.
Yeah, that's a poor pass from Bissouma.
สบายสบายเร็วไปนั่นแหละพี่ดูทรงแล้วสู้ไม่ได้ก็เส้นหนาเพื่อนแม่งไงไม่รู้
On the break, sends it down the line for Johnson, and it's a really poor pass from Son. We know he's much better than that at times, but that's a terrible ball in behind. He's fortunate because Adebayo thought he was under a little bit more pressure than what he actually was from Johnson, and he's put it out for a throw-in. You can see Destiny Udogie just
ดูดิซับโอเตก้านี่มันเหนียวนะเพื่อนนะผมว่ามันเหนียวกว่าเดซันอีกนะผมมองดูอ่ะเพื่อน
down on this side. Udogie still going down the left, trying to maybe win something there. Castagna puts a foot in and Fulham.
ผมว่ามันมองดูว่ามันเหนียวกว่าอีกอ่ะ
In the end, Tottenham regain possession, and that's a really nice switch of play from Yves Bissouma. He's getting a bit more involved in this game as it goes on as well. I said to Sam earlier, I expect Tottenham to really grow into this. It was a similar start to
แอนโดนไม่ไหวครับเจ็บบ่อยผมมองดูผมว่าแต่กล้ามเหนียวนะ
in terms of away from home, but they've almost soaked up that pressure and they're not necessarily reaping the rewards of it yet because they're not winning this game, but we can see they're really starting to take this game by the scruff of its neck and they're causing problems for Fulham at times. Romero looks in for Son, a poor first touch, and then Son absolutely clatters into João Paulinho there, and I think Son's come off that challenge worse off as both of them are rubbing their knees there, as I think it's just a little bit of a clash. I can't see anything too serious there, but it was a poor first touch from Son.
It was, and Heung-min Son a moment ago, really poor ball, wasn't it? And through to Johnson, and then on that occasion a really sloppy touch by the South Korean, takes the ball back, goes to win it back and makes a foul on Paulinho. There's nothing really particularly wrong with the challenge by Son, he's just going to win the second ball, but he just steps up a little bit too heavy and brings his man down, and Paulinho and Son both back to their feet and both okay, thankfully. But again, Son, it's been quite off it in this game so far, hasn't he? But we know a player of Son's quality can pop up any moment and score a goal, but he's been a little bit off it so far, Heung-min Son, playing of course that number 9 role as he has very well this season. Fulham's free kick gone forward, good defending by Pedro Porro as him and Willian exchange a handshake afterwards as well. But again, the game kind of calmed down a little bit in the last 5 minutes, hasn't it? But 40 minutes in, not had a goal in this game. It's been an entertainer without any goals.
Yeah, it is pretty mental to think that we haven't had any goals in this game so far. The poor headed back pass by Adebayo. Leno just about clears his lines because he knew he had Son breathing down as it falls to Kulusevski, who may look to cut it back. Will he go for goal himself? He does, and his shot is well blocked in the end. But Fulham, once again, almost the architectures of their own downfall in terms of playing out from the back poorly, looking a little bit defeated at times. And Bissouma on the challenge on Pereira, they've won the ball back well of Tottenham once again, and it's just been one of them kind of games so far. Robinson puts the challenge in on Kulusevski, it bounces straight back off the Swede, and out for a throw-in. And this has been a very frantic game so far.
It absolutely has, and we saw Kulusevski with an opportunity a moment ago, didn't we? But again, Bernd Leno has a very unconvincing clearance by the former Arsenal man. He just moves it up into the air. Saar then takes the ball out of the air, and that starts the attack for Spurs. It falls to Kulusevski.
เรียบร้อยเพื่อนเบอร์ฟี่ผมว่าดิวอสเซนน่ะที่มันสู้ไม่ได้เพราะมันมาจัดหลัง3ใส่เนี่ยเพื่อนหนักกว่าเก่าจริงๆหนักกว่าเก่าอีกสู้ไม่ได้
But the other team hasn't been able to take advantage with a goal, and that's kind of been the story of the game. Eventually, surely, what a team will punish another and get a goal, but we're just waiting for that moment still.
Yes, Maddison goes down under a challenge. This time from Timothy Castagna, and there's been plenty of fouls flying in.
ไม่หนุกเลยจานมันแบบจริงนี่ไม่หนุกจริง
Quieten down any time sooner. Man who loves a foul like Yves Bissouma hasn't made a foul yet in this game so far as Maddison plays it short to Udogie, gives it to Yves Bissouma now under a bit of pressure from Pereira. Johnson rushes that a little bit, and Adarabioyo quite clearly heard the shout from Bernd Leno in the end as Calvin Bassett is just on the ball now. He played, well, I was going to say he plays it out to the left, but his decoy fooled me as well as he goes across to his centre-back partner Adarabioyo, plays it down the line, shows too much to Udogie, and Johnson once again just losing possession. It's been a bit of an up and down half for the Welshman so far. He's struggled to really take this game and cause problems for Fulham, and you look at the bench, you can see Timo Werner and Richarlison's back from his injury on the bench now, and you think they're two changes that Tottenham may look to make in this game as Robinson squares it for Muniz. A great first touch, goes for goal, and there is the goal in the first half. Rodrigo Muniz with a brilliant first touch. Vicario showed a little bit too much of that.
ไม่ได้ซ่อมหรอก
Too close to his
มัน
near
ดูบอล
post,
น่า
and
เบื่อขนาดนี้
Muniz
พี่
has got that goal. He had a couple chances earlier on in the game,
โอ้โห
but he
บอลน่า
does
เบื่อ
now
มาก
finally have his goal. It's
ก็ชิวๆก่อนเพื่อนเราก็ดูไปเรื่อย
What a finish that is by Muniz. Absolutely brilliant goal. Muniz has been brilliant in this half, in my
มัน
opinion.
ตอนนี้มันกำลังไม่ติดอยู่กำลังเครียดอยู่เนี่ย
He's added something to Fulham that they've been missing in attack for a long time. It's really good play though. It's out to the left-hand side. It's a fantastic ball by Robertson. It's got to be said. Is he offside though here? And that's the question there, because is he ahead of Romero? I'd be disappointed for him if this goal gets ruled out, because it's a brilliant first.
เอาแล้วโฟเดนมาอีกแล้วยิงโอ้โห
as well, Muniz. It'll be his 6th goal of the season in the league if it's to stand. That would put him as Fulham's top goal scorer as well. But I'll tell you what, once he gets that though, what a
เสื้อแท้หรือเกรดโอ้เกรด A ครับไม่มีตังค์ซื้อครับซื้อมา300โอ้เอาของแท้เอาที่ไหนมาซื้อ
I think it's very tight between him and Romero. Either way, what a finish by Muniz.
Yeah, it was a brilliant ball in from Anthony Robinson. From first glance, we can see VAR are checking it, and I believe that he's just about onside. I think Romero's foot is just playing him on. We
ผิด
can
จะดี
see the official
ชาวบ้านผมยังโดนอยู่เลยเนี่ยตำรวจลง
going through it at the moment, but it is going to be
ผิดครับ
onside.
พี่
Romero's foot
ไม่มีถูกหรอก
does play him on, so Muniz's goal will
แต่ที่ไหนมาถูกอะ
attempts already in this
แต่ตำรวจมันก็แดกตังค์อยู่นั่นแหละพี่
for his efforts, and Robert Jones is just getting the confirmation.
ตำรวจก็กินเรื่อยๆกินเรื่อย
There's almost extra celebrations and relief for the Fulham faithful at the moment, because despite Tottenham getting back on the front foot, Fulham have scored in their quiet period in the game as Postecoglou just looks down at the moment. They're definitely not out of this game yet at Tottenham, but now they've got a bit of an uphill battle.
They absolutely do. I mean, obviously, like you said, the game against Aston Villa last weekend, 6 days ago, wasn't particularly a great first half by Spurs, but they weren't losing the game at half-time, and that was what allowed them to go on in the second half, obviously, and be all right. As another risky ball back there by Porro. Basuma gets there ahead of a Fulham player who slipped there. I believe it was Muniz, but we saw Muniz 6 goals in his last 7 league games. That's a fantastic record, and that's exactly what Fulham have been missing all season. So to have that striker up front for Fulham, obviously the one thing they've really missed since Alexander Mitrovic departed, of course, in the summer, has been that number 9 to put the ball in the back of the net on a regular basis. And right now, Muniz, he provided the goods for them, and we saw how good Fulham were last season with a top striker at their disposal with Mitrovic.
Yeah, of course. The
ผมเพิ่งไปเอาไอ้คาริเบียนมาสักพักเนี่ยครับ1,800 สำลีสั่งไม่มาสักทีออกไปเอาแบบคอยมาแล้วเอาคาริเบียนมาเนี่ยผมก็ซื้อหัวใหม่หัวแรบบิทหัวเดดแรบบิท
with the nutmeg on the Italian.
ตอนนี้มันเป็นอะไรไม่รู้เนี่ยเพื่อนมันไม่ติดเนี่ยมันเป็นเฮียเนี่ยเปลี่ยน
goal scorer. The most goals he's scored in a senior season. He's actually now this one with getting his sixth in terms of league football. He got 5 for Fulham in the Championship in 25 games, which isn't a great record for a side that was scoring for fun. He only scored 2 when he was on loan at Middlesbrough in 17, and the form that he's been on so far since regaining his place around the halfway mark of the season has been quite remarkable and something that he absolutely needed to do, and he's put himself back in the thoughts of the
แต่ว่าบ้านพี่ยังเปิดอยู่ใช่ไหมแต่บ้านผมไม่เหลือแล้วปิดชั่วคราวตำรวจลงแต่บ้านผมอะ
hold of possession. It's a challenge from Iwobi, and it is going to be a Tottenham throw-in. Kulusevski throws it back into play, gives it back to Bissouma, and you can just see a stat on our screens here. When scoring first in the Premier League this season, 11 games, 9 wins, 2 draws, 0 defeats for Fulham. So if Tottenham are going to win this game, they're going to have to do something that hasn't been done before yet in this season for Fulham. There's Dragusin's just on the ball now. There was 2 minutes added on, and we're about a minute through that at the moment. The Romanians looking to carry the ball forwards. It's clear foul from Muniz that the referee hasn't given in the end. This time it's going to be a foul from Lukic on Udogie, who wins it this time. And Maddison looks to get us underway quickly, gives it to Brennan Johnson.
เขาบอกว่า3 ล้านนะขับมอไซค์1 นาทีก็เจอโอ้โหมีครบน้ำต้มนี่นึกว่าแข็งผักขายแล้วมันบอกว่ามันปราบปรามอยู่ไหมน้ำกระท่อมแบบต้มขายกันข้างถนนน่ะพูดจนหมูไอ้เหี้ยรัฐบาลอ่ะพี่จะเอาอะไรกันมันมากทำอะไรไม่จริงหรอกแม่งพอออกข่าวหน่อยแม่งก็ทำเป็นทำแต่พอข่าวเงียบก็เงียบกิ๊บเพื่อนๆใช่ปะล่ะเราก็รู้กันอยู่ประเทศไทยที่นี่มันกระบินครับจานตำรวจเอาไม่อยู่โอ้โหแถวนั้นมันเถื่อนเหรอพี่แถวนั้นมันเถื่อนใช่ไหมแถวกระบินเนี่ยตอนนี้ผมเป็นอะไรก็ไม่รู้เนี่ยไม่ติดเนี่ยคลองถมอะคลองถมอะว่าไงโอ้โหโดนเลยพี่คลองถมอะรอดูสงสารครับหลายทุกปีข่าวมีตลอดสงกรานต์จริงอ่ะพี่เพื่อนใครเข้ามาแล้วนะครับฝากกดไลค์ฝากกดแชร์ด้วยอย่าลืมนะฝากสปอนเซอร์ด้วยนะเพื่อนฝากสปอนเซอร์ด้วยมันกระพริบมันเป็นอะไรวะมันกระพริบมันเป็นอะไรวะ
Half-time at Craven Cottage in this Saturday Night Football Premier League encounter between Fulham and Tottenham Hotspur. Half-time score, Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. Goal coming in the 42nd minute from Muniz. Muniz's 6th goal in 7 Premier League games and his 6th goal altogether this season. It was a very well taken one by Muniz. Across on the left-hand side by Robinson. He controlled it well, and what a finish it was from Muniz. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0 at the break. Time at Craven Cottage in this Saturday Night Football Premier League encounter between Fulham and Tottenham Hotspur. Half-time score, Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. The goal coming in the 42nd minute from Muniz. Muniz's 6th goal in 7 Premier League games and his 6th goal altogether this season. It was a very well taken ball by Muniz across the left-hand side by Robinson. He controlled it well, and what a finish it was from Tottenham 0 at the break.
จะหลับในไลฟ์พี่จบครึ่งแรกแล้วพี่อย่าไปซีเรียสพี่จบแล้วตอนนี้กำลังเครียดอยู่พี่มันไม่ติดเนี่ยมันกระพริบอยู่เนี่ยประสาทจะแดกตอนเนี้ยผมเนี่ยอยากดูแล้วเนี่ย
controlled it well, and what a finish it was from Munyes. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0 at the break. Half time at Craven Cottage in this Saturday night football Premier League encounter.
มันกระพริบมันเป็นเหี้ยอะไรวะมันกระพริบเนี่ย
Half time score Fulham 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0. The goal coming in the 42nd minute from Munyes. Munyes' 6th goal in 7 Premier League games, and his 6th goal altogether this season. It was a very well taken one by Munyes across the inside by Robinson. He controlled it well. What a finish it was from Munyes. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0 at the break. Half time at Craven Cottage in this.
ผมไม่แน่ใจเหมือนกันนะว่ามันเป็นเพราะอะไรอ่ะมันไม่มีนะผมเช็ดหมดแล้วเนี่ยแต่ตอนนี้มันกระพริบเนี่ยผมระงงมากเลย
Across on the left-hand side by Robinson. He controlled it well. What a finish it was from Munyes. Fulham 1, Tottenham 0 at the break. Half-time at Craven Cottage in this Saturday night football.
ผมยังใช้อยู่เลยไอ้ลวดเก่าพอผมมาเปลี่ยนลวดเมื่อกี้ผมยังใช้อยู่เลยพอแม่งมาผมมาเปลี่ยนลวดเอ้าไอ้เหี้ยไม่ติดซะแล้วอะไรของมึงวะกระพริบเฉยเลยอะไรครับเนี่ยมึนไปหมดเลยอ๋อใส่ข้างเดียวใช่ปะใส่แค่ข้างเดียวลองใส่ข้างเดียวดูก่อนขอบคุณมากพี่เดี๋ยวผมลองดูก่อนไม่กระพริบว่ะพี่นี่อ่ะติดข้างเดียวติดอะไรอะครับเนี่ยอัจฉริยะโอ้โหสุดยอดพี่เก่งดีโอ้ยเยี่ยมเลยตัดขาลวดใหม่แต่มันสั้นปีดแล้วนะพี่มันสั้นแล้วอ่ะต้องทำยังไงอ่ะตัดขาลวดใหม่ช่างไฟในตำนานแต่มันขามันชนกันแล้วอ่ะพี่ลวดผมมีอันเดียวด้วยไอ้เหี้ยตัดขาลวดให้มันสั้นหรือให้มันยาวอ่ะพี่งั้นสลับฝั่งใส่ใหม่มันเป็นที่ลวดหรือว่ามันจะเป็นที่นี่ใช่ไหมพี่นั่งทำตั้งครึ่งหนึ่งเสียเวลาไลฟ์สดหมด คนดูยิ่งไม่มีอยู่คนดูอยู่8 คนเจริญนะครับพี่น้องสปอนเซอร์ที่ไหนเขาจะมาจ้างเนี่ย นะเพื่อนๆอย่าลืมนะครับเพื่อนฝากขอบคุณสปอนเซอร์ด้วยนะครับสโมท็อปนะครับเพื่อนๆใครสนใจเข้าร่วมแฟนตาซีลีกนะครับก็เข้าร่วมกันได้นะเพื่อนเข้าร่วมแฟนตาซีลีกกันได้มีก็ใครที่เล่นแฟนตาซีลีกในแอปพรีเมียร์ลีกอยู่แล้วนะครับก็ลองเข้าไปพี่เป็นที่ลวดจริงๆด้วยพอมาสลับฝั่งอีกฝั่งหนึ่งก็ยังติดอยู่แล้วผมต้องทำยังไงวะเนี่ยลวดกูก็มีอันเดียวด้วยตัดให้มันพอดีไม่ชนอะตอมสุดยอดพี่เดี๋ยวลองดูก่อนว่ามันติดเปล่าโอ้โหขอบคุณมากครับพี่เอสดีงั้นผมตายแน่เลยไม่ได้ว่ะพี่เป็นที่ลวดว่ะพอลวดเก่าใส่แท้ป่ะ ลวดเก่าก็กระโหลกโป่งๆมากเลย มันชนอะตอมอ๋อตั้งแต่มีเมียครับพ่อตาแม่ยายใช้เราต้องเป็นให้หมด สุดยอดพี่สุดยอดเยี่ยม ซื้อใหม่ โอ้โหพี่ไม่มีลวดขายแล้วแถวเนี้ย